Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the Texas League Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dwayne Devastator Morrow, along with my two esteemed colleagues. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Big Rob Caldwell. I am the manager and Camner high score for the week of Mathis King. Enough said.
I am Jared Cowan, the commissioner, who will not be sending Big Rob Caldwell money because he is not the high school winner of the week.
The commissioner
and the manager of Stairway to Evans.
All right. So, welcome. We have completed the first quarter of the NFL season. Probably slightly more than a quarter, but less than a third of the fantasy football season. Jared, what's our kickoff question this week?
Oh, with the bye week starting this week, injuries being plentiful, there's probably about to be a lot of trades going on in fantasy football. Actually, it might be some trades in real football, but that's another conversation. My question for you, gentlemen, is when it comes to trades in fantasy, do you consider who sent the trade? Like, if you put on the message board, hey, I'm offering player A, send me your best offer. If the best offer comes from someone in your division, do you still make that trade, or do you go to someone outside of your division so you don't have to worry about that player coming back to bite you later on in the season?
I think it would depend on when said player and if I was playing them when they had said player, or if that player happened to be on bye that week I played them. I mean, I would look at all that I'd take all that under advisement. Now, if let's say you and I were in the same division, Colin, you're like, I actually trust you, so I trust you and Debo both. But if someone else that I might not be so cool with in the trusting department, we're like, okay, look, we in the same division. I want to trade you this for this. Okay, I'm going to look to see when I play them. I'm going to look to see when they're on bye. If they're on bye when I play them, and I can do without the player, or I actually get something out of it, yeah, I'll make that trade. That way, it can't bite me in the butt until playoffs, and then I'll just have to come up with a plan for playoffs if that's the case.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely consider the source of the trade, whether it's number one, I hate that people who do that, send me your best offer people. Like if you trying to trade your player, then be more direct with what you're trying to get, right? Like let us know. Are you looking for a quarterback? You looking for a running back? Like, what are you actually looking for in return value? Because just blindly throwing it out there like that, it seems kind of lazy. Like you're not really trying to make a trade. Like you're just trying to go fishing. Because I've done that, and it with you try to send offers to people who want players, and then it always turns into oh well, I decided to keep them, and I feel like I wasted my time. So I would rather get someone just to send me an offer if you're looking for something specific, versus those people that just I'm just send me a trade for whoever. That's lazy.
There you have it.
Excellent question. Thank you. So, as I mentioned, first quarter of the NFL season is over. And so my question this week in regards to our NFL review is, after the first 4 weeks, who do you think looks Super Bowl bound? Dr. Deuce.
Well, who do I think looks Super Bowl bound? At AFC, I'm going to say Baltimore. They got someone who can sling the ball. They got someone who can run the ball consistently. The dude who slings it can also run, don't get me wrong. But I like the way that their offense is looking, and their defense kind of shaky at the beginning, but I think they're starting to pull it around. And I feel like they would match up really good against the Minnesota Vikings. I like actually what that offense is doing. Their defense, look, they're winning. That's the important thing. They're winning games. I think that would be a hell of a Super Bowl matchup, and that's my prediction of what will happen. Now, who will win? Who's to say? Ravens. But I guess you never know.
So the Vikings and the reemergence, I should say, of Sam Darnold looking like a viable NFL quarterback. They kind of got you believing right now, huh?
They do. They really do.
Okay.
Now, ask me this question in 3 more weeks, I might have a completely different answer.
All right, Jared, how about you?
Damn, I should have went first because I too believe that the Vikings could make it to the Super Bowl. The defense is strong. Sam Darnold is looking very competent. And with Aaron Jones behind him, they have what it takes. Well, I believe they have what it takes as of right now to have a good regular season and make a run in the playoffs. But on the AFC, I got to go with the Chiefs. You got to go with the champs until somebody knocks them off. And Patrick Mahomes seems to always get it done. Him and Andy Reid seem to always get it done. And until somebody knocks them off, I got to go with them.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I'm going to agree with Dr. Deuce on the Ravens. After the first 2 weeks of the season, they looked very shaky. But when you look at the Ravens the last 2 weeks, this is the team that we expected to see from the first week of the year. And just think about it like this. They're not even fully healthy yet. But I think that the team that we see now, and as we see down the stretch for the Ravens, is going to be the one that does exactly what you're talking about, Jared. And that they're going to be able to see, like, if that Chiefs game was week 5 instead of week 1, I don't think there's anyone who would take the Chiefs over the Ravens the way the two teams look right now. So I'm also going to take the Ravens in the AFC. I'm going to go with a dark horse in the NFC. I say the Detroit Lions reached their first Super Bowl right now, the way that they're playing. And it's because, as we all know, we've been fans of our teams for a very long time, and we understand the window of opportunity to get to and or win a Super Bowl is very minute, and it's a smaller window than you have in other sports, like, say, for instance, college football or the NBA, right? The NFL window is super tiny. And what we've seen over the last 2 years from Detroit is progression. Jared Goff is not, he's still the same franchise style quarterback that the Rams thought he was. It just took Matthew Stafford to come in and give Sean McVay, that's the coach, right? Sean McVay, that last push to get them a Super Bowl title. But you got to remember, Goff's already been to a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to get a team to the Super Bowl at the quarterback position. And the way they're playing right now, I see them making a deep playoff run. I still like the Ravens to win that matchup in a Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm picking the Detroit Lions to make it to the Super Bowl this year. All right. Excellent. So I know this is a NFL based podcast, but real quick, and even though I'm not a fan of either team, what did you guys think about that Georgia Alabama game Saturday night?
It was, man, I like the end because it was just going back and forth. I'm like, oh damn, Georgia gonna pull this. Oh no, we're gonna let them score. Okay. And so it's like, and to throw that pick at the end, it's like, damn, that's just a bad way to end. But I get it. I really thought Alabama was going to lose post Nick Saban. I'm like, okay, here comes a downward spiral. But
I mean, it just seemed like the game was going to go. I don't know how, but it felt like the game was headed towards overtime. Like I said, I posted this on social media Saturday about halfway through the fourth quarter, and it felt reminiscent of that national championship game that Tua threw that touchdown in overtime. But it was just like the Georgia team, they didn't come to play until the third quarter. And so Alabama better be very happy that Georgia decided not to show up for that game until the third quarter. Because had they played the first half of the game like they played the second half of the game, we definitely would have had a different result. But shout out to Alabama for winning an instant classic on Saturday, man. Like, again, you don't have to be a fan of either team, and, I'm not. But I always enjoy good football, and that was some enjoyable football to watch. So
yeah, because if you got up, you're like, oh, okay, Georgia's up. Let me go get some water. I'm like, what the hell? Alabama's up now? I won't go on that damn long. It's like
no. Yeah. Oh man. How about you, Jared?
I went on Twitter X, whatever they call it now, when they went down 28. I'm like, somebody tell Georgia pass the sticks. Then I left the hotel. Me and my cousin left to go get something to eat. We got to a little Longhorn Steakhouse. I'm like, oh, Georgia trying to make this close. I'm like, if anybody don't watch the game, they don't think that this was a competitive game. And by the time we got back to the hotel, oh, what the hell? They up? Then, like he said, I literally went to the refrigerator to get some water today. Maybe not. Yeah, like you said, that's
that
it could definitely be an instant classic.
yeah.
And the crazy part is that national championship game that you were talking about, I actually saw it on TV Friday. I was out at lunch at Christian's tailgate, and I looked up. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it too. They were replaying it, so I watched a little bit of it on Friday. But yeah, man, shout out to both teams. Potentially a rematch of the SEC. I would expect that to match up to come back around later on this year. So we'll see what happens when they face each other again. Unless Texas does something real good. So
I mean, you never know. They're set up to. I mean,
they are. And young Arch is playing good football. He's holding his own. On my
he probably like my daddy wasn't even in the NFL to throw the ball. And look how good I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, on my NCAA 25 Road to Glory, he's currently the Heisman leader on the game.
Now, see, I'm the Heisman leader in my Road to Glory game, so.
Of course you are. Of course.
So, yeah, shout out to young Arch Manny. So we'll see what happens. All right. So let's take a look now at the Texas League Week 4 results. Unfortunately, last week I was the only host to win his game. This week I'm the only host to lose. So life comes at you fast. All right. So let's just get my game on out the way. I mean, it's not a lot to say. I had a roster choice that I could have made, that I almost made at the last minute, which was to change quarterbacks with Jordan Love. I did not do that, and ultimately it cost me the game. Once Rashee Rice got injured and went out for the game, that took away my advantage. But I will say this, I had two roster choices I made right at the bell. The one I didn't make, which was to change quarterbacks, but the other one I did make, which was to change my slot from Jordan Reed to Jordan Reed from Josh Jacobs. So that one paid off. That's just my fault. Next time, listen to your whole instincts, Dwayne. Listen to your whole instinct, and you get yourself a W. So shout out to Super Mario Cristobal, who had a very special weekend. Not only did he win his fantasy matchup in our league, but he was there in person to see his quarterback, Jaden Daniels, go off and act a fool against the Cardinals. I honestly thought that it was going to be a shootout when Kyler Murray threw a touchdown early. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I need, baby. I need a shootout between these two quarterbacks. That is not what I got. All right.
He did get 3 rushing yards, so that means something, right? I got nothing. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I know, right? How many rushing yards would it have taken to get you the high score this week?
I don't want to talk about it.
So let's talk about Math Rob's game. Math is king. So there was really I had the closest game this week. The rest of the games were not close. Dr. Deuce, tell us how you did it to him this week.
Well, Baker Mayfield did exactly what I thought he would do. Baker Mayfield things. Derrick Henry he's just like, hey, Buffalo, watch this. And just like, I wanted him to get that one extra yard. That gave me the bonus points I needed to get the high score. And they tried to get it to him, but, he got stuffed at the line. So it is what it is. Everybody got double digits except my kicker and special team. So it's like, even my damn tight end got double digits. And he's just coming off of an injury. So it's like, man, it's like, because, you see other tight ends, you get half a point like this, like Company Man had, unfortunately. It's because he only had one catch. Nobody wants to use the tight end no more. They don't know Debo's school of tight ends. So,
They
you
don't,
know,
and it's sad, man. It's sad. It's an underutilized position. It's such a mismatch. You know what? You know what? It's not that he only needed one more yard. He fumbled that touchdown. That also would have
yeah,
been a high score when he
it
fumbled
would have.
that touchdown. But hey, that sucks. So close. So
Well, the
close.
funny thing is, it's like, so like when we did the thing at the beginning of the season where the people rated our draft, one of the things they said, they're like, I like the running backs that this person has. And my running backs have been helping me. I mean, Baker Mayfield's been getting me 30 points a week almost, but my running backs have been doing really well, getting me at
Yeah.
minimal 15 points. You know, Derrick Henry getting me 30 this week, almost 40, but I like my running backs. And so I know people are probably out there shopping for running backs. Like Debo said, don't be coming at me, give me your best offer. No, son, you better come and get me something real what you want, because I
Right.
ain't letting these jokers out for free.
Exactly. So quick middle question, middle of the podcast question. Which team regrets letting their running back walk most so far? The Giants or the Titans?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. I'm gonna say the Titans for now, but the Giants are like, man, can we build a time machine and go back? Can we pay this dude? Because yeah, Saquon's loving it in Philly. I mean, he didn't have a lot of rushes this past weekend because they didn't want to give him the ball. But I mean, he's still better off than he was in NY. So
Yes, he
no
is.
disrespect to
He-
NY, but I mean, hey,
Even though they somehow have the exact same record right now.
yes, they do.
And
And I still say Tennessee.
crazy stat that I saw is that uh Hurts and Patrick Mahomes have basically the same stats on the season. The difference is in the win column. So that's why it's Patrick Mahomes gutting out victories and Jalen Hurts still a project quarterback. So they're a field goal and a interception at the end of the game away from Jalen Hurts being looked at as not still being a challenge quarterback. What about you, dear? Who do you think? Titans or Giants have the most regret right now on their running back situations?
I'm gonna go with the Giants only because they were on Hard Knocks and we got to see them firsthand mess this up. Like you see the look on the owner's face when Saquon leaves. You see the disgust. Like he looked like, really? You let that happen in the division for real? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants. It's a close one though. It's a close.
It's not often that you get to see the inner workings of a team making such a terrible decision and making such a huge mess of a moment like that. But geez, that was like I said, and seeing the Saquon announcement in the spring was one thing, but knowing that they had footage of the whole process and how it went down, how do the Giants not pay off whoever they had to pay off to corrupt that file? So that video does not get out. I'm sorry. I would have been paying Russian hackers whatever they needed to get in there and send the virus to keep all that video. I'm sorry. It would have been that video would have been erased like the Nixon tapes. Okay. It'd have been like, we have this part of the off season. We have this discussion, but then we're missing 3 days of all the information around Saquon. Don't know what happened.
Saquon Gate.
Ain't no, there is no way that they should let that footage actually get out on Hard Knocks. I bet you're gonna have a hard time convincing the Giants to do Hard Knocks in the future. All right. But great job, Mathis King. Second highest scoring team this week, and Dr. Deuce moves to 3-1. Let's check out our other host's game. Oh, I was wrong. You also had a pretty close game.
Yeah.
So you beat out old Ed Corn.
Yeah. First off, I would like to say sometimes it's better to be lucky than good because he said he was going to change out his running back, but it locked on him. I don't.
Well, let's
Yeah,
see.
and any change out the running back, you take an L.
Yeah, that's why I said sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah. It is what it is.
But Kenneth Walker tried everything in his power to have a Derrick Henry like day to try to get him this W, though.
He really did.
Yeah.
Walker was FedEx land and air player of the week for Seattle. That boy was getting it in. But yeah, unfortunately for young Ed Corn, Derrick Henry was running the ball so much. Zay Flowers didn't do much of anything in the slot. Meanwhile, Sunshine down there in Jacksonville figured out, oh yes, this is a football. Maybe I should throw it to someone.
And they still lost.
Right. That he still did. So Texans still did their thing. But yeah. So
My wife's a Jags fan, so that's always fun for me.
oh,
I'm not even gonna lie.
gotta love it. Gotta love it. So that moves our other co-host to 3-1 as well. Let us take a look at our high score of the week. Muff Divers versus Bench Burrow and Deal. Do we have a comment from our high scorer of the week?
I reached out to Mr. Cook, and he kept. You've both met Adam. He's known to say some outlandish things, but he kept it simple. He said that his team played well. He needs more wins like this to get into the playoffs and get that championship that has eluded him. And he would like to thank Yahoo for drafting a team that he was able to work with. The man is, you know.
The San Francisco defense did exactly what you expected them to do against a absolutely basura New England Patriots team. So yeah, still have no idea how the Patriots won their game week 1. I don't even remember who they beat week 1, but whew. Yep. Let's see, do we have on the bench? Okay, let's see. We could have made it a little bit respectable, but really nothing Bench Burrow and Deal could do. This team kind of
They beat the Bengals week 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the Bengals. Remember what we were talking about with that championship window?
Mm-hmm.
They went to the Super Bowl, and it's been 2 years since their Super Bowl appearance. And now they look very back down to earth. So they look very, very regular right now. All right. 2 boobs, 2 balls, 1 goal versus the Big Green. This is one I believe we all get this one wrong?
We did. We all got it wrong.
Yeah. So we did not think that Big Green was going to come out and get her first victory on this game. We were wrong. No one saw Chuba Hubbard coming out and going back to back. Let's see, I'd have to check and to be clear, but I would guess in his short fantasy lifetime that this has been Chuba's first time ever going over 20 points in back-to-back weeks in his fantasy career. So shout out to Chuba Hubbard. Or Chuba Hubbard, however you want to
Shout
pronounce
out for the Big Green to knock out the last undefeated team.
right? Now, this was the surprise, though, right?
Yeah.
We talk about these matchups, right? And you think Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, 2 of the most dynamic dual threat. I mean, in fantasy
A
terms,
shootout.
right? In fantasy terms, Josh Allen's QB won the last 2 years in a row in terms of fantasy points, and then even in real life, you know what I'm saying, running and throwing the ball. Josh was on the bench in the 4th quarter. Yeah, Mitchell, I believe.
Yeah, they put him with Mitch Trubisky, I think they put in.
Yeah, they threw Trubisky in there at the end, who did exactly what Mitch Trubisky does and threw a pick. And anyway, but pretty much the only people that showed up for his team were Kamara, Cortland Sutton somehow. And how bad did the Jets stink on Sunday against Denver?
To lose to the Denver Broncos.
I mean, you have Mr. 2 weeks, last week, Aaron Rodgers looked like the man of old. This week, you can't come out and score not one. You can't even get in the end zone against Denver.
Hey, the kicker did his
defense is
job. The kicker did his job.
Kicker did his job. I must say, I saw Denver play. Their defense is actually good. That offense.
You talking to 2 people. You talking to 2 people that knows the heart of the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason the Jets should have lost to Denver.
There's no reason the Bucs should have lost to Denver, but that's it.
So,
but the defense, that defense is good. That offense is horrible. I still don't know how we lost to them. That's why the Eagles got beat like they did. Like it's supposed to be a bounce back game, but we still lost to the Broncos. I don't know.
yeah.
You know, it is what it is. Bo Nix looked like Bo Nix and still somehow got a W.
Bruh. Again, as an Auburn fan, trust me, I know what that feeling looks like with Bo Nix. All right. So let's see who else we had here. Kirkwood and hanging with Hernandez. All right. Unfortunately for hanging with Hernandez, still we have no one's undefeated anymore. But we unfortunately still have a winless team. And I think I was the last team to win the game either the last year or the year, something like that.
No, last year Chuck and them were the last one to get that first win.
Okay, well
Okay,
then
maybe 2 years ago.
Might have been the year before, but I remember.
Yeah, because we were both we were like the last two teams that had a victory because I remember us talking about it. But anyway, unfortunately for brother Steven, Nico Collins and Tony Pollard were the only ones who showed up on his fantasy team this week. Everybody else,
Oh yeah, Richardson got hurt early. That's right.
he sure did. Richardson got hurt and we saw the reemergence of Joe Flacco, who somehow, you know what? I don't know, man. It kind of feels racist. Joe Flacco keeps showing up on teams that have black quarterbacks and taking over when the brothers get hurt.
I forgot Joe Flacco was still even in the league. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but I honestly legitimately forgot. I ain't even when he came out, I'm like, oh, when did he go to Indianapolis? Okay, good to know.
You know, after his success in Cleveland last year, Deshaun pulled the Tom Brady and said, we ain't even had this. Get that fuck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how did he good last year when I went here. You're not finna have him sit behind me to have people talking about, ooh, come on, Joe. Nah, bro, you got to hit the bricks. But good old Flacco came in and did what Flacco. He did what 40-year-old quarterbacks do, which the year has been a wash. So we're all pretty much on the same level, but that's okay. I don't mind. You know, he went with the family pick last week, which turned out to be the nice one. It kind of makes me think that he's the one that injured Rashee Rice.
How I injured his cousin. I was in Arizona. How I injured Rice.
How convenient.
In LA, right? LA is only 6 hours away, technically. So I mean, I guess it's possible.
And it's a 45-minute flight. So true. So how convenient that you were out of town when Rice got hurt. Nah, but good job, Jared. Good job on that one. All right. So let's take a look at and do these picks for this week real quick.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with Mathis King versus Muff Divers. Both teams 3-1. Jared, who you got in this one?
Oh, wow. I am going to go with I think I'm going to go with Mathis King in this one in a close one. I'm leaning to Mathis King because both quarterbacks are playing in division matchups. And the thing is, I think Baker Mayfield goes to Atlanta and continues to show out. I believe that Derrick Henry continues to run the ball down people's throats because, as the phrase goes, everybody has a plan till you get hit in the mouth. When he come running downhill, it's a business decision.
It's not a lot of people that want to step in front of that train.
No, and I think Chris Boswell has I told somebody I think that the Cowboys and the Steelers have one of them low-scoring games, similar to Week 1 where Boswell kicked a bunch of field goals.
A bunch of them.
That's just what I see. I see a lot. I see Justin Fields doing a lot of running, not quite getting in the end zone. Field goal, Boswell.
Well, I picked him up yesterday.
Him and Aubrey are going to be kicking some field goals. But I'm going to give a nod to Mathis King.
Okay. This is a tough one. It is. It is a very tough one. I'm going with Mathis King as well because I think that Derrick Henry is going to continue eating up those points in the red zone that Lamar Jackson are used to. Like Lamar Jackson owners are used to Lamar being able to run those little RPOs from the 10 and in and vulture those touchdown runs, which Lamar had a rushing touchdown last week. But I don't. I just think that Derrick Henry is that you can see that he is what they're he is what that's why they brought him there was to get the ball and pound. And yeah, when you got a hot hand like that, Derrick Henry, you keep riding it. Pause. So yeah.
This game is also for the top of our division. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, okay. Indeed, indeed. So yeah. So Mathis King on that one. All right. I'm gonna let you return the favor, Mathis King, and Stairway to Evans versus Hangwood Hernandez, and what Yahoo expects to be a very low scoring affair.
Yes, they do. Well, let's see. Hernandez better change out his quarterback, but
And it's tight end.
yeah. Oh, true. Yeah,
Let's
they,
see.
damn.
Let's take a look at
Who
the
you got?
bench.
Who's on the bench?
Let's take a look at the bench here.
Oh, because they got bye weeks coming. Okay, I see why they did what they did.
He still needs a quarterback.
Yeah. Look, for no other reason but he's a co-host, I'm picking Stairway to Evans. I don't really have. I don't like this matchup at all. I don't like any of these people they got who they're going against. To be perfectly honest with you, so I'm just gonna say Stairway to Evans because he's a co-host. So it is what it is.
This is the beginning of the bye week hell rosters in NFL season. We always know that bye weeks start creating some really ugly matchups. So, and I think that that's going to be an issue for Hangman Hernandez because if Richardson can't go, even if Richardson can go, I don't think this is a good matchup for him against Jacksonville. It is unlikely that he's going to go again in his young career. They're going to be more cautious on him with his injury, so I expect him to be out of this Sunday's matchup. And there's with our league, there's not a lot of quarterbacks out there that you actually want to play for fantasy reasons. So with that, I'm also going to go with Stairway to Evans. All right. Kirkwood versus Ed Korn. Two former champions facing off. So yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm going to go with Kirkwood. Geno Smith is a quality quarterback in the NFL. Like I don't think anyone doubts that anymore, no matter who the opponent is or who the matchup is. That being said, the Giants defense is not their problem. The offense is. And if they come out playing the same way they played last week, they're gonna get beat again. So with that being said, and West Coast, had the home field advantage. East Coast team coming all the way to the West doesn't have usually that negative effect like they do going the opposite way. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kirkwood on this one. Who you like, Cowan?
I actually think I'm going with Acorn on this one. Because the thing is this. I agree that the Giants defense is not their problem. But the way that Geno Smith played on Monday night and the way that this Seattle team is starting to get it together, I think he can put up a good performance. Plus, Kirk Cousins don't play well in prime time. That's always been the knock on him. Doesn't play well in prime time. Plus, they got some hurt linemen in Atlanta, and we got a 300+ pound man who's coming back off injury who just likes to plug up the middle of the field. So if you can keep Bijan from running, just like we kept Saquon from really getting out there, who are you gonna throw the ball to? They don't throw it to Kyle Pitts. That's a whole other conversation. We know how you feel about that.
No, it's not just me. Like
it's
it's so bad. The memes and the videos are showing up in my feed all the time about Atlanta wasting Kyle Pitts. But please go ahead.
Yeah, this is another one I think is going to be close, but I'm going to give the edge. I think Ed Korn bounces back from last week. As long as he remembers to take Joe Mixon out of his lineup. I almost want to use commissioner privilege and go take him out myself, but I'm not doing it.
I think Kirkwood might find you and have some words with you if you were to do that. Dr. Deuce.
I agree with Jared that Acorn's probably going to win this match, but for a different reason. Yes, I agree that New York's defense isn't half bad. However, that being said, they're going to be on the field a lot because their offense is that bad. So because of that, they're going to get gassed. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about it. If you're on the field for more than half the dang game, something's going to have to give, and it's going to be the damn score. So for that reason, I got Acorn winning, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I think it'll be at least 10 points. I'm not saying they lose by like 40, but it's going to be at least 10-point win.
All right. In another proposed low-scoring bye-week hell matchup, we have Benchboro and Deal versus the Big Green. Like, you can see bye week, so she hasn't switched out anybody yet. You know it's bad when Tyreek Hill is on the bench and it's not even a bye. Like,
Who's going to throw to him?
Exactly. So when you have to bench one of the most talented wide receivers in the game, like that's some hard cheese right there for you. Jared, who you like in this one? You can say nobody. I'm just playing.
Can I say nobody? Can we call it a tie? Oh man, I'm sorry. I just can't pick Benchboro and Deal to win. With that lineup of his just doesn't look promising. Burrow's gonna put some points up. That's what he's gonna do, but they'll probably still lose the game in real life. I don't really believe in Carolina. I don't. They're better with the Red Rifle than with Bryce Young, but I don't see any great performances there.
Oh no. Deontay seems to like Red Rifle, but he's questionable.
That ankle. That's why I said I don't see him doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Singletary might not play, I heard. So yeah.
Groin injury, yeah.
Them groin injuries to get you. So
oh yeah, ain't no gutting that crap out. That man.
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's gonna be one of those games with a bunch of players that you're like, who?
Yeah.
Oh, you look at the roster. Oh, everybody's on bye.
Let's see. Does she even have a backup? Well, I mean, she's got Trevor Benson, but like, oh man.
It's not.
Yeah, I also am gonna go with Big Green simply for the fact that Benchboro kind of along the same lines. She could pick up a running back. It's not gonna get her what Williams would have gotten her, but I mean, his team has just really been underperforming this season. It's kind of hard to, it's like, you ride the hot hand on a win streak and you keep avoiding the bad team on a losing streak. So shout out to Benchboro and Deal. Got love for you, but I'm gonna go with the Big Green. Dr. Deuce?
I'm right there with we're gonna be a consensus. I'm going with the Big Green. And my difference is I don't think Joe Burrow's gonna get as many points against Baltimore as you think. I really don't. I know this says projection, 20? I don't think he gets 20. He might get 15, but I don't think he gets 20. And I think that's going to be the difference in the loss right there.
I agree with you. I think that time of possession is going to become a factor in that game, and Baltimore can grind the ball and keep the ball away from the other team. So, all right. Let's see. We did this one already?
No, we didn't.
Super Mario Crystal Ball and Two Boobs, Two Balls?
Yeah, we didn't do that one yet.
We didn't do that one. Okay. All right.
I got the spreadsheet. That's why I know.
Jared, Cuzzo eked out a victory last week on some bullshit.
Mighty feeling away about that.
I'm feeling some type of way. Who do you like in this matchup, man?
Oh, yeah, 2 bulls, 2 balls, 1 goal. Under normal circumstances, having someone in your roster who might not score a point, being Kyle Pitts. But a lot of these tight ends ain't scoring no points. And I got one on my roster. So,
Ferguson definitely. I mean, I think actually Ferguson had a good game last week. Did he?
Ferguson.
Yeah, well, he had 2 weeks ago. He had a decent game.
Yeah, 12.
8 points is not bad for a tight end this
not
season.
This year.
No, it's not. He damn near might be leading the league this season.
No, he might be second behind the tight end from the Eagles had a good week 2 weeks ago. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's probably it. But yeah, you can't look at tight ends.
Just because I looked at it earlier today, Taysom Hill is the second leading scorer for tight ends this season, thanks to his 2 touchdown runs
Yeah,
on
that's
Sunday.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, this is I have a feeling that I think Josh Allen bounces back. But I
But
do
can't bounce forward, so I mean,
yeah,
I'll
that's
stop.
really true. He scored. He had a horrible performance last week. I don't think he has that kind of performance this week, and I think he plays fairly well. Diggs, being that he's playing Buffalo, is going to want to come out and play.
Yes.
But I just don't think they win. Brees Hall against that Minnesota defense. I don't want to play nobody against that Minnesota defense till otherwise proven, because no one really, you can pass on them. You really don't run on them.
The Jets performance on Sunday was so bad that I had a person cancel a trade that we had verbally agreed to that involved Brees Hall. That's how terrible they played on Sunday. We had an agreement that we were going to put the trade through after Monday Night Football, and the person texted me and said, "Nah, I'm good." we had agreed to terms on Sunday morning, and by Monday said we were gonna put the trade in on Tuesday. And he texted me after that game and said, "Nah, I'm good."
Damn.
It's rough.
It is. So
be like that sometimes.
So I also am gonna go with Cuzzo in Super Mario Crystal Ball this week. Also, just basically because again, A-Chain is playing the Patriots. Who else is going to score points for the Dolphins at this point? Like, luckily, his pass catching ability will be able to get us some additional points, but I think he gets into double digits this week against the Patriots. Dr. Deuce?
I don't agree with you guys. Can't believe I'm doing this. I agree Josh Allen has a bounce back game against Houston. I think Stephon Diggs is going to be hype about this game just because he's going against Buffalo. I just hope someone can get on the ball. But I think Kamara's going to actually have fun with Kansas City. And even though they lost last week, which shocked the hell out of me, but even though they lost last week, they don't lose this next week. I got 2 moves, 2 ball.
Okay. Excellent, sir. And then
I'll be back in first place by myself.
And then we'll see what happens with this pick. And our last game of the week, we have Devastator versus Company Man, both sitting at 2-2. Devastator currently occupying the last playoff spot, the if playoff started today spot. Something we did not have much in the last 2 seasons at any point. So, gentlemen, who do you like?
Ooh, Sam Darnold versus the Jets. That's gonna be fun. Waddle, no one's gonna throw him the ball. Connor, I forgot he was even in the league still. Najee Harris against Dallas. Maybe he's gonna look to see. Well, Derrick Henry could do it. Maybe I can. Nah, bro, you ain't the same tag.
See, hold on. I just need to throw this out there because I have James Conner in a different league. Don't sleep on James this year, man.
I see that. I'm seeing that.
As do I.
So
he got him a sneaky touchdown on Sunday.
I just had to defend him a little bit because besides last week, James has actually been playing well this year.
I think this matchup favors Company Man just because most of the players he has on here is playing the Jets.
You know what?
I've got to go with Company Man. I'm sorry.
And here's one that is going to sound hilarious to you. I'm going with Devastator because he started Sam Darnold. Now watch. He kept Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be the game that Mahomes gets it together and goes crazy on the bench and he loses.
Hey, they are going to New Orleans. So, and Mahomes is not single. Mahomes is a married father of 2. So we don't expect him to have the Bourbon Street hangover something we know about.
Right.
Okay. Well, all right, gentlemen. Those are our picks of. Oh, again, I guess I'll make it official. I'm also picking myself this week.
Of course.
So I could take a 2-game lead potentially, just saying. No,
Potentially.
wait, 1, 2, 3-game lead, actually.
You not
There's
gonna get
3 picks that are different.
you ain't gonna get all three of those.
You never know. The math might be in my favor, brother. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm
You know,
just
I know a
saying.
little bit about math from time to time, but
You know a
I
lot
had
of
heard.
You know a lot of bit about math all the time.
I know a little bit about a little bit. There's still room to grow, still room to learn.
All right. Which games you looking forward to this weekend?
Honestly, Bucks Falcons on Thursday.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start it off on a high note for Baker Mayfield getting me 30 or 40 points tomorrow. So
Uh,
that's what I'm looking forward to. My Chargers are off, so I ain't got no one else to watch. So I mean,
I agree. I think that's also going to agree. I think this is going to be probably the best Thursday night game so far of the season because the opening night game wasn't very good. Like the Ravens were terrible. So opening night game was bad, and the game since then have been bad. I think now that we're kind of in the season, both teams are hitting their stride. I think we're going to get a very good Thursday night football matchup. Jay, what about you?
You know, of course, tomorrow's game because my team is playing. And I don't think we mentioned this. We get European football. That
oh yeah, that's true.
That Jets Minnesota game is I believe it's in London.
It is in London. That's right. That'd be like Old Dark 30 on fucking Sunday.
It's at Hotspur Stadium. That is right. Yes. First international game of the season. Because we got games we've got what, London, we got 3 in England and 1 in Germany this year.
Yeah, I think so.
They started the season and
because isn't Germany like the Panthers? Yeah, Germany is like the Panthers versus somebody else. That's a really bad matchup. Hold on. Because I remember we talked about that at the beginning of the year. We were like, the Panthers versus somebody in Germany because Germany deserved it.
Yeah.
Is Panthers Giants. Is the Panthers versus Giants game is in. I'm looking at the time that it kicks off. Panthers Giants is going to be in Germany. But yeah, okay. So I'm sorry, but besides, so is that the other game you're looking forward to? Is the Jets Vikings international game?
You know, international games always are interesting. They always, you know, like I said, tomorrow. Then we got anytime you play international, you always get something crazy like because it'll always be like the most random match.
Yeah, like the Jets actually doing well.
Yeah, like really,
right. Like Jacksonville going off every time they're in their home away from home.
That's true. That's very true.
Hey, I'm looking at it. Jacksonville plays the Bears next week.
Oh, Jacksonville doesn't Jacksonville have 2 games in England this year?
Consecutive.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
They're playing the Bears next weekend, and they're playing the Patriots the weekend after that. They can win both of those games.
Definitely. Rookie quarterback, international game. He hasn't been playing well this season anyway. That does not bode well for young Caleb Williams next week.
But it's just like you said, crazy things happen in those European games. I'm not me personally, and maybe it's just me being petty because you know it's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Jacksonville lose both games, I'm just sitting there staring at my wife like, "What happened to your team? what happened?"
Right, they're supposed to be at home away from home.
They ain't won a game yet this season.
Right.
Yeah, it's been great. Well, maybe not for everybody in my house, but it's been great.
Wait, Jacksonville is winless?
Yeah.
Really?
They are. They ain't won a game, bro.
I did not realize that. Who else is winless?
Their closest game was against the Texans, 24-20. Oh no, the Dolphins 20-17, week 1.
Who else is winless? Because there's one other team that hasn't won yet, right?
I thought they were the last. Hold on, let me look.
Are they the last ones? That's crazy.
Oh, that's what I thought. Standings. Let's see here.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they are the only one. Because the Giants even won a game. And Carolina. Oh yeah, I forgot Carolina did win a game. Who they beat? Too soon? My bad. But
as I was saying,
Cowan over there.
What you laughing at? Y'all lost to the Broncos. Hush.
You know,
a team that I look forward to us seeing this weekend. We've beaten the Broncos 3 years running now. So Raiders and Broncos looking good. I'm actually looking forward to Monday Night Football. After the first 2 weeks of the season, Derek Carr the Saints into a 2-2 record. In the last 2 weeks, that interception he threw last week was every Raiders fan knows that Carr is good to make those head scratching decisions to be like, bro, why? And yeah, ended up costing the Saints the game. But I don't know. I don't know who I think is going to win the game, but I expect it to be a lot of points scored. So I don't do gambling tips usually, but I would say Monday Night Football, take the over. Whatever the over is, take it on Monday Night Football. So yeah. But all right, gentlemen, that's the end of week 5. Best of luck to all of your fantasy teams and all of your favorite NFL teams. Set those rosters for the Thursday game. Remember, if you have players from the Jets or Vikings on your team, you cannot wait until the noon kickoff. You got to get up early and set that roster before church this Sunday. All right. Until next time, friends.